Hello again, everybody. This video we're going to go over how to review, approve, and basically manage timesheets for payroll. So on the Monday that payroll is going to be due that week, Kronos is going to automatically submit timesheets for your approval. The words kind of get a little tricky. When timesheets are submitted for approval, it still requires the approval process from you all. So the submission is an automatic thing from Kronos. The approval is a manual thing from the manager. So when you log in on Monday morning after 8 a.m., you're going to see on your dashboard under the to-do items that Kronos has pushed through the timesheets that are pending approval by the manager. This is just like a quick way to see what is all out there and what needs to be approved. If there is ever anybody in this screen that should have hours but does not, you need to let me know. But everyone that has current timesheets for the pay period that we are about to process for payment will show up in the My To Do items. If you have been pretty diligent throughout the 2 weeks about adjusting time and making sure that everything is correct, you can use these quick touch buttons here to approve it. For basically when you approve it, you're saying to me, just as you were in time clock, I've reviewed this time, I'm approving it, these are the hours that you need to pay this employee. Before you ever hit approve, I would always suggest, even if you're 99% sure, that you click on this open timesheet and just double check those hours and make sure that if they were here every day, if they're hourly, that they have the appropriate amount of hours. Because once you submit this for approval, you cannot make changes. So just make for sure that you are 100% correct. With everything, we can always adjust as needed, but please be sure that once you do hit approve that they have the appropriate amount of hours. So we're going to go back to the home screen, and we're just going to look at a couple of other things that are very important. So because Kronos automatically pushes this through for approval, you're going to see if anyone has a missing punch, and that's going to show up also on your dashboard. If, for example, this test employee, they clocked in on June 25th, but they did not clock out, shows a missed punch. To be able to go in and correct that, it's pretty simple. You just click on open the timesheet. It'll take you to the timesheet. You'll find where the missing punch is. Contact the employee. They left at 5 that day. Enter the time and save it. You can go back to your dashboard and you'll see that that has disappeared. If there is ever anything here, that means you either 1, have not saved it, or 2, you did not correct all of the missing punches that required you to fix anything. So like I said, you can go into here and see who all is left. We're going to approve this for payroll to be paid. That's what this means. So here you would just click approve. Because we're working a little bit before the pay period, it's not going to physically let me do that this time, but normally you would just approve it and everything would be just fine. If you needed to come in here and make any adjustments, like I said, you could go in here to all current timesheets. You could select everybody. You could edit it. And again, make sure that you're looking at the right time period, because if you approve it for the wrong pay period, that employee will no longer be able to clock in or out for the rest of the pay period. So please make sure that you are always looking at the correct dates. I can't explain to y'all enough how important that is, that you are approving the right pay period. If that ever happens, you are able to reject a timesheet. This is not the way that we want to do it. We want to make sure that we are approving the correct pay periods, because when I run the pay period reports and you've approved time for the wrong pay period, it's not going to pull anything for that employee. So they're out of luck and they don't get paid. To do that, again, to change between the timesheets, you would just toggle back and forth here with these arrows. It will show you the employee that you're looking at here. Oops, sorry. And that's how you, again, review everything. All right, so let's say you needed to make an adjustment to a salaried employee that was either off that day or took PTO or something like that. So we're going to go into here and to view their timesheet. Let's say they didn't work on, I didn't work on Tuesday the 18th. You would zero out these hours and save it. So when I run payroll, this says to me, there needs to be either a PTO request or a time without pay request associated. Everyone refers them differently, but there has to be something to supplement these 0 hours to let me know why we're not paying that employee. Now let's say we're not paying that employee because they took PTO and that they have PTO available. You would come down here to add rows, and it's going to populate an additional row. So this is all just salaried hours here, 72 as you can see because we've zeroed out the 18th. What you would need to do is you would come down here, it's going to show Coastal Home Care, and this is where you're going to show the different job codes. So if this is a salaried employee, keep in mind you'll follow the same process for hourly, but because it's a salary, we're going to click on Vacation S. We're going to come in here, and we're going to put in 8 hours and save it. So now this shows that we have 8 hours here on Tuesday, June 18th. Now let's say they also took 8 hours on Tuesday the 25th. Let's put in those 8 hours. You can use the same row. You don't have to add one. Let's save it. What you'll see is that Kronos does not automatically zero out the salaried hours. So you have to do that manually every time. So if you are in here adding a row for bereavement, jury duty, PTO, holiday, anything like that, make sure that you zero that out. You can always double check yourself and make sure that they have the 80 hours or however many hours you're supposed to pay them. It's going to show you this total amount of PTO hours, total amount of salaried hours, and total amount of hours combined. To delete it, you would just go over here and it will delete that entire row. Make sure that you go back in and add those 8 hours back if you've made a mistake, and you save it. So like I said, that's how you're going to be approving timesheets, how you're going to make sure that everything is correct. If you don't approve them from here, you are more than welcome to come in here, click on that, click approve. Like this notification is saying, once timesheets are approved, you cannot modify timesheets any further. So once you've approved it, that is for me to continue processing. If you need to make an adjustment, you need to let me know. So like I said earlier, because we're working in a current timesheet and this is just a test, it's going to not technically allow me to approve it. And then you'll see incomplete time entry. So unfortunately, this isn't telling you exactly who it is, but if there's somebody that has clocked in but has not clocked out, you can come in here. We know it's Danielle because she's clocked in today, but she has not clocked out. So because it's, like I said, current timesheet, it's not going to let us do that today. That should take care of everything. As always, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. But hopefully this will be helpful for you to see it in live time.